A letter sent by the FBI to Martin Luther King in 1964 uncovers how he was asked to submit suicide. The letter, which was distributed in 2014, uncovered stunning subtleties on the administration's battle to attack the social liberties pioneer. RT reports, on Tuesday, Beverly Gage composed for the New York Times about the historical backdrop of the letter which, up to that point, had been to a great extent covered in mystery, as have other stealthy FBI activities that looked to dishonor affirmed adversaries of the United States government under the rudder of then-Chief J. Edgar Hoover through an incognito battle of disinformation, extortion and provocation. At the point when the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. gotten this letter, about 50 years prior, he unobtrusively educated companions that somebody needed him to execute himself, and he thought he knew who that somebody was. In spite of its silly composition, unsure awkwardness and different endeavors at confusion, King was sure the letter had originated from the FBI. Its scandalous chief, J. Edgar Hoover, made no mystery of his longing to see King ruined. Somewhat more than 10 years after the fact, the Senate Church Committee on Knowledge Overextend affirmed King's doubt. Gage composed, "There is just a single thing left for you to do," King is cautioned by the obscure creator in the last passage of the letter distributed in unredacted shape out of the blue this week. You comprehend what it is. Preceding the unfavorable request for King to submit suicide in the letter's last section, the creator utilizes underhanded no less than about multiple times and blamed him for being a debauched, strange good numbskull. Your privileged degrees, your Nobel Prize, what a terrible sham, and different honors won't spare you. Lord, I rehash you are done, it proceeds. No individual can defeat actualities, not in any case in extortion such as yourself. I rehash, no individual can contend effectively against realities. Satan couldn't accomplish more. What unfathomablevolness. King, you are finished. Gage, a history educator at Yale University as of now at work on an account of Hoover, disclosed to the Times that she found the letter in its uncensored frame, overflowing with mistakes and incorrect spellings and sprinkled with endeavors at amending them, this mid-year while scouring for data at the National Archives. The revealed entries contain unequivocal claims about King's sexual coexistence, rendered in the racially charged dialect of the Jim Crow period. Looking past the violence of the allegations, the letter offers an intense cautioning for perusers today about the risk of local reconnaissance during a time with less saved broad communications, Gage composed. Surely, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, a California-based backing and legitimate gathering that battles against government spying, among different interruptions, said accordingly that the letter shows precisely what lengths the knowledge network is eager to go to, and what happens when they take the products of the observation they've done and release it on an objective. The ramifications of these kinds of procedures in the advance age are chilling. Envision Facebook talks, pornography scene history, messages, and increasingly made open to ruin a pioneer who compromises the norm, or used to extort a hesitant focus into turning into a FBI source. These are not implausible thoughts. They are the truth of what happens when the observation state is permitted to develop wild, and the full King letter, just as present Insight Network rehearses show that reality luxuriously, composed Nadia K. Ely. The FBI has long accepted the consequences for its observation of King and others amid the Vietnam War period specifically. In 1971, a group of activists burglarized a FBI field office in Pennsylvania and later uncovered verification of a program, COINTELPRO, in which the authority pursued a deception crusade against King and other enemy of war advocates after he called the FBI totally inadequate and saddling the proceeded with commotion and mercilessness exacted upon the Negro in the profound South. Hoover sent specialists to discover rebellious material on King, and Robert Kennedy approved wiretaps on King's home and Southern Christian Leadership Conference, SCLC, workplaces in October 1963 as a major aspect of that program, reviews an article on the Stanford University site. Hoover kept on favoring examinations of King and secret tasks to dishonor King's remaining among money-related supporters, church pioneers, government authorities and the media. Lord kicked the bucket in 1968 when he was killed at a motel in Memphis following over a time of activism that assumed a crucial job in anchoring social equality for African Americans and different minorities in the U.S.